Hey, hey.
What is up? We are live and we are live. All right, folks. So
And for
I
those of
know
you who've been
I,
wondering where we've been the last 2 weeks, we are still alive.
yes, we are. Proof of Life podcast. Here
Yeah.
we go. It is a big weekend. It's SummerSlam weekend. Sean's finally back where the trees are green and I don't have to look at brown anymore. It is great, great, great to be back and podcasting with y'all. And Matt, it is awesome to see you. How the hell are you, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Doing really good. Stoked about this weekend. A lot of stuff going on in the WWE world, in the wrestling world. And yeah, we're 2 weeks behind, so it's going to be a little different format with this. But uh, yeah, we're excited to get back here and do our previews for SummerSlam, and we'll recap a little bit of stuff. And right now, tentatively speaking, tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock a.m. Pacific. Sorry for you West Coast folks, but just make stronger coffee. We'll do our night one recap, and then we'll do our night two preview. So feel free to join the party. So again, tomorrow morning, 9 Eastern, 6 Central. Give it a take a few minutes.
Yeah, the most definitely. It's been a great build to SummerSlam. There's a lot to like, a lot to not like. Last night on SmackDown, if you guys see me flailing my hands for whatever
I
reason, there's
saw
a
you had like a
hornet
drone, like
fly, flying around.
look like a drone.
It probably is, but a little micro drone.
Yeah.
But no, um, so here's what we're gonna do, folks. So we're just gonna dive right into night one tonight. We're gonna talk about some of the backstory. We'll probably hit on some things weren't that were have been going on, but honestly, we're at the big event. It's another reset period for us. So, like, you get up to WrestleMania, and then everything after Mania is kind of its own little season. Guess what? It's the same for SummerSlam. At
Right.
least this year, it feels like it's different. So we got
Yeah.
a pretty big SummerSlam. So we're gonna dive on in.
Hey, let's give a shout out real quick to Dave LaGreca, Busted Open, for now becoming WWE Radio on Sirius XM. So the hard work is paid off for Mr. LaGreca and group. So congrats to him. Also, as y'all everybody knows, we're all main roster, but I happened on YouTube to catch the Grayson Waller
Ooh,
shoot, work
I
shoot.
saw pieces of it.
That's not a pipe bomb. That's a work shoot. It
I
was
know.
excellent. Uh, I liked it. It was probably the best work shoot I've seen probably since Paul Heyman went off on Vince McMahon on SmackDown a few years ago, where he just ripped Vince McMahon a new asshole like on TV. It's not a pipe bomb, folks. That's a work shoot. They like to throw sexy words, but I thought it was great. I'm like, where was that the last 2 years on main roster? So
I think he was hand tied with what
bad,
he was given.
some bad gimmicks, New Day and the Austin Theory thing didn't work out, but I'm telling you, he reworks himself in NXT. He'll be back on that main roster quicker than you think. I believe.
I think that there's some validity in they are starting to let some of these, I don't want to say newer, so like we'll call them the younger iteration. So like you have your rookie class, which is like your Obafemi's, Trick Williams, whatnot. Then you have that tier that's been around a minute, but they're still on the younger side, like your Grays and Wallers and stuff like that. And when I say younger, I'm not talking age. I'm just talking
Yeah, time.
main roster time, stuff like that. And it was nice to see him kind of be him a little bit, even though, like you said, we're main roster only, but he's a main roster guy. So like I didn't see it live, but I at least got to see the clips and it was pretty awesome. And then, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like we were talking about it in the chat last night. This like whole like 36,000 people at SummerSlam is shit. Like I don't know how else to explain that one. Like
Uh,
I they dropped that number last night and I was like, oof.
at
But
that point, you could have had it at Target Field, and it would have looked more full with a Twins play. And
I
like
think that
you and I talked about this last night, and I know they did the $25 special. And Kevin, who's listening, who will be at the show this weekend, he's in the gold tier package because he's taking his kid, which is awesome. My thing is, if you're going to sell tickets so high and only get 35,000, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because if you could bring the ticket prices down and put 60, 70,000 in there, you might make the same at the gate, but you're going to make probably twice as much on your merchandise and concessions, plus hotels and all that. It benefits the company, it benefits the city. They're shooting themselves in the foot by taking. I don't want to see a stadium where half of it is not even used. Like, fixed camera is going to be almost empty on the fixed camera side. Everything else,
Yeah,
what for TV it'll look good, but if you're a fan there and you're sitting like, where the camera's on you, you're gonna be looking across. You're gonna see a lot of topped off sections. I don't think it'll look visually good for those that are there. I know they'll make it work for TV, but I don't know. It wasn't long ago, and I think it was pre-COVID, that if they had a stadium show, that stuff would sell out. Like,
yeah.
no question, no doubt about it. Not even a worry if it was going to sell out. You might have slow ticket sales, but then it would always bounce up and they'd sell out. I mean, hell, they had 100,000 in Texas for WrestleMania, 2 nights in a
It's
row.
yeah. Well, I think this is a little lack of understanding on TKO's part of
And
how
the economy is struggling too. Everything's more so. With that, you think that they were like, okay, people are struggling. Let's make it worth their while to come out here, and let's make it affordable for them. I just
unless yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how they can't see it, and like some curmudgeon like me can see it. It's like, dude, it,
mm,
you literally all you had to do was drop your ticket prices because like I said, this is probably a lack of understanding on TKO's part, right? Like their primary bread and butter is like UFC. So there the gate is the moneymaker. Whereas WWE, I think you're losing out because you have an episodic series, you have and the money doesn't just stop at that event. That event is a kicker. It's not the stopping point. Meaning, if I eat it on tickets, but I fill the house, to your point, everybody's going to buy merch. Everybody's going to buy all sorts of crap, concessions, parking, hotels. Like there's a trickle effect. And then on top of that, because WWE is a weekly episodic ongoing thing, you also get you also benefit from you have renewed interest. You have more people invested in your product, which means when you're doing your weekly shows, people are watching. There's still the online store if people really get into a character and whatnot. Like you make the connection at the house shows, but like or not the house shows, but the live events, and then
same
like
thing.
that carries you through. And the fact that they cannot get it through their effing heads that like the gate at a PLE the is not your moneymaker, right? You just want people there. Everything else is the moneymaker. So
Mhm.
I think that the only reason why TKO is probably focused on the gate, they probably get the biggest cut off the gate. They probably get less of it, because when you look at merch sales, the wrestler themselves get a cut, and A, B, C, D, and E all get a cut
Yep.
on merch, right? So like, but it's the pennies game. If I keep on stacking those pennies up, I'm gonna actually come out way further ahead than if I try to rape everybody at the gate and then I don't sell out, right? Because the product, believe it or not, even in this build, in my opinion, compared to what they've been doing in the last 2 years, it's gotten a lot better. So, like, yes, there's some misfalls and all this, that, and the other, but like, woof. But you know what? We're not here to talk about Gate. We are here to talk about SummerSlam. So Matt,
Yep.
let's just get into it. So,
Uh,
and
Hey, by the way, just to let you know, the public chat is open. We got Mikey is on there, and one of my old soldiers, Kevin, who's going to be there tonight and tomorrow. So, please, if you're watching and join us on the live chat, we'll be live responding as well. So,
yes, we will.
so
All
I
right.
have it up. I'm already responding, and if your comments are good, we'll throw them up on the screen.
So Matt, here we go. I
Yeah.
started off with the match that you have been waiting for this whole time.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's the Bellas, Matt. Your favorites. So Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Page.
I'm gonna go with
Uh,
Nikki Bree and Paige on this because Fatal Influence. They just won the titles. If you want to keep this feud going, I think Nikki Bree and Paige sneak one out here. But I think it's more
I,
about. I think you're going to see a feud between JC Jane and Paige down the line, and I think you're going to see the Bellas reunite as a tag team, and that's going to allow Paige to work on her solo stuff, which I think it's time now for her to be a solo act.
so we're gonna start off out right out of the gate. I am going to take Fatal Influence here. I think this is an establishment moment for Fatal Influence to give them more gravitas, if you will. Obviously, they had the tag titles already, but like, I have a feeling they are ready to like strap a rocket to that group, rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of like it's the whole Obafemi debate, right? Like people had a lot of conversations and a lot of heartache because Obafemi forwent his title shot that he earned with King of the Ring and went for Brock Lesnar. Whereas, like, what people didn't understand was he will forever be Obafemi, the guy that won King of the Ring. And I think this is one of those fatal influence who beat like a bunch of Hall of Famers and whatnot. Like, yeah, that's a big feather in their cap. So it's about building legitimacy. Like one thing that always rings true in my head, like I've heard it a million times before, which is if you bury your opponent, then they're not they you get no credit for it, right? Like you winning doesn't mean squat. So I think in this case it works the other way. Whereas if they beat them, it's going to add a feather to their cap. I don't think. I'll be honest with you. There's not much notable in this build at all to really talk about. It just kind of happened. So as I get attacked by the Hornet of Exile
Well,
over there.
I also picked Nikki Bree and Paige because when we get further in the card, there's there's a match I picked because I think this is like a happy moment, one of them. So I think Nikki Bree and Paige go over, but I think Fatal Influence still looks good. Um, I think it's just
Yeah,
to give maybe a further title shot to the Bellas and maybe Fatal Influence because I really like Fatal Influence a lot. Like I enjoy watching them. I like their characters. I
yeah, they
like
got their
their
crap
in ring.
wired tight.
They do, but I also think here that if they lose the SummerSlam, I don't think it's going to hurt them. But I do agree with you that if they go over, it kind of cements them as it's kind of like a launching pad for them to have a big win like this. But there's no titles on the line. It's just kind of a six-person tag. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
This isn't one I'm like really. I'm not. I didn't wake up this morning like going. I can't wait for Fatal Influence and the Bellas and Page. There's a
it
lot
does
more.
nothing for me. The only caveat I'll have to that match is that I really my gut my gut is saying Nikki is gonna turn on Brie. So like somewhere in there, Nikki's gonna offshoot.
Didn't they do this
So
before years ago? Didn't they turn on? Was it
shit
or
if
did
I know.
one of them turned on the other? Who knows? They look alike. Can't tell. Forget names.
Well, when will then be now? Soon.
I
So
got TBI. Damn it, I can't remember. Yes,
alrighty, Matt.
perfect segue.
S yes. When will it be over? So bloodline
Jesus
members.
will come back before this is over.
Oh my god. I am so over the bloodline thing. Jimmy, Jay, Jacob against Solo Sokoa, who's just on a tear right
Oh,
now. LA Knight, who's also on a tear right now. And uh, Royce Keys, who's just up and coming, man. Like
and,
this match
and
right
benefiting
now.
from all of this. This is really. I think this is really about elevating Keys and putting them on this big
I think so.
platform.
I think so. I think the big payoff is going to be Keys, Jacob,
Oh,
eventually.
absolutely.
But
So
I've called it.
Solo's been the best thing on TV the last couple weeks.
That dude's killing it, and this ties into what we were talking about earlier with Grayson Waller, right? Like you let people play their strengths. Solo as a face, as Solo being Solo, is my favorite version of Solo. So there was hints early on, even when he was on the heel side, that like after the whole bloodline thing ended and he was kind of in charge of it or whatever, and like the Solo that we saw where he gets a little quirky, a little funny. He's got that, you know, the scary part out of all that is at the end of the day, Solo might end up being one of the biggest stars they have. Like his recent work has me getting like Solo's getting in that big boy territory real
There's
quick.
there's a lot of rock influence too. A lot of rock.
Yes,
I
but
the, lo- it's
but
spe-
it's natural
it,
for
it
him.
but it hasn't come out until the last couple weeks where we're really seeing like the mannerisms, the way he's just
Yeah,
that
I
that's
noticed it.
that smart ass cocky persona that Solo has. It's great.
It's
And I heard that this they were initially saying this was just going to be a short term face run, but I think they're going to stick with it. I think
I
that there's
think that
money to be
this is
made with a face Solo. I think.
oh no, Face Solo is the best Solo, and
Yeah.
it's especially because I don't know what the hell the Bloodline are, and we've talked about this in past podcasts, and I still feel the same way. Like I can't call them tweeners because like a tweener kind of teeters on the line. These dudes are on a full bore seesaw. Like we're popular, we're bad guys. We're popular, we're bad guys, and it's like I don't know what the hell they are. And it really takes away from this. And it's hard for them not to come across as just like recycled bloodline 2.3 thousand or whatever, right? Like I'm not buying none of it makes sense to me, right? Like Jimmy and Jay are just like throwing ones in the air like it's the grand old times and blah blah blah. It's like y'all
But
got out of that life for a reason and you just ran it like they
the
didn't even hesitantly run back into it. They just went full steam ahead, like full send, like whoop, we're right back in it.
but you know what? I don't see the fan reaction. You're starting to see a more mixed reaction. You're hearing a lot more boos and not so much with Roman, but with these three, they're kind of getting more of a heel reaction. Roman is he's just the cult leader. They're just gonna blindly worship him and offer their children and their money just to worship Roman. Uh
So bad.
But the Reverend L.A. Knight, who's been preaching the truth the last few weeks on TV as well. Uh, I agree with you, Mikey. I'm rooting for Solo Royce in L.A., but if they're gonna beat us over the head with the bloodline, I really think the bloodline's going over today or tonight.
I'm taking the faces and I'll take the prop bet that Royce Keys gets the pin. It won't be on Jacob, but Royce Keys is going to come out of this with the pin.
Wow, we're like that's 2 for 2 where we have different picks.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be one of those good news stories because I think you need Solo to have a one up on the bloodline so he can continue to poke and prod them, right? And then this is if you stop and think about it for a second, like bloodline losing while Roman's still kind of holding down the fort, blah blah blah. Like that's good for business because with them kind of taking the L, now he can kind of revert back into berate them, hate them. You know,
Yeah, but
Roman.
if Roman loses, then Roman really can't do that. If they all lose, so
I know,
That's why I
but they
want.
lost under his leadership, so it works either way.
I know I'm kind of playing my poker hand here. I'm kind of giving away my thoughts early, but man, if Roman loses and the Usos and Fatu win, then they got one up on Roman in the shit talking department. So I don't. It, this is a really tough card, I think, at times to really pick who's going to win. There's some stuff that's obvious, but I kind of like it that there's this little bit of uncertainty in this card about it's not so. I mean,
No,
we
it
used to talk about PLEs back in the day, and it was like everything was like cut and dry, like you knew it was going to happen. Here, at least in most matches, is like okay, this could happen or this could happen.
you
I
could
like
pitch
that.
it either way, but like I do. I
Oh,
think that
I
this
think this is going to be fun. I think it's going to be wild. I think, this is definitely going to get the fans out of their seats. I'm going to pick the Usos and Fatu. This storyline is going to go on, but I think you're going to see some things in the match that are going to build for future angles within these six.
I think Usos and Fatu, if they win, is just lazy booking. It's just it's the ho hum booking where we just keep on going back. Like whatever, dude. Like
And will the Usos and Fatu get along?
yeah, yeah, they will because Fatu is the good soldier in the whole group. Like he's just living up to his commitments. So he's doing what Roman tells him. He doesn't work for them, but Roman tells him to go do this. He does it. So, and then a loose tie into this, especially on the solo front. Last night, you know, uh, Tala and I forget the other one's name because I suck at
Tama.
this.
Tala's the
Tama
tall one. Tom is built like the Taka truck.
ha-
So he's
have some new guidance, man. Freaking Haku
woo.
coming out and providing guidance to those two. So I'm real interested to see how
I
that all ties into this a
I
little bit.
popped big for that when he was backstage, and then when he
As
came
soon
out
as I saw him, I
last
was
night,
like, "Whoo,
and when he came
that's
out
what
to
I'm
like,
talking about."
I like that they brought him to the ring, because if you
Yes.
just saw him in backstage, like, oh, he did a backstage vignette, but he's not really here, and then not 45 minutes later, there's Haku in the WWE ring, and I'm like, oh shit, like they're going legit with this. So if he's one of the elders, do we see a Rikishi or some of these other uh, old
Is this
time?
like the quintessential? Like, is this truly the end chapter? Is this like Samoans, unite like their Avengers moment where it's just going to be all the Samoans?
Or is it going to be
Like,
or is it going to be Apocalypse Now, where they just get
oh god,
bombed and Roman goes down in flames?
I did. I had to acknowledge that because that was probably the biggest thing I popped for last night. Like
We all
seeing
did on the
this,
group chat last night, man. We were like, holy, like freaking Haku, like
yeah, yeah, it was big. All right,
oh
man.
boy,
This one is one I have been waiting to see. I am excited for this one.
yes sir.
Gunther and Nick freaking Aldis. Your GM and mine, Nick Aldis. Bro, this build has been very well done.
It has, it
Last
really has.
night, last night we got a little bit of the feel for Nick Aldis, right? Like, he put on the Texas Cloverleaf a little bit, not very long, but just something out there, like a little tidbit of his arsenal, so that you kind of understood that this isn't like Joe Schleppy and
No,
Gunther, right? Like, there's a
no,
legitimate threat to Gunther here.
this ain't Jelly Roll, you know. This
No,
is yeah,
no,
this
and
is
that's the point, right? Like, this isn't Jelly Roll out there. This isn't Travis Scott, like,
and,
insert celebrity here. This is legit shit.
and as a Gunther guy, I've been kind of hard on Gunther lately. Last night, I liked the Gunther I saw last night. Like when he obliterated Sammy and
Finn.
Finn, just destroyed them. And these are your two guys fighting for the number one contender for the world title, and Gunther destroys them not once but twice. Like it was
I
great, and then it got and all this came out, and the focus was back on all this and Gunther. I liked Gunther last night. Like okay, like let him be a bully. Let him go back to this. Like don't let him be the whining crybaby baby. I'm gonna get my lawyer thing. Like okay, I don't like how things are going. I'm just gonna beat everybody up until I get what I want. Cool.
That's a fair assessment, except that I know I was dipping my toe in this in the chat last night, which is I have serious concerns about where you go either way that this match falls. Meaning, if Nick Aldis wins, well, now he's got one up on Gunther. So, like, can Gunther, do we just have Gunther as the disruptor that's still trying to make, or does this just give Nick a little bit of control over Gunther where Gunther isn't, right now in the pridal hierarchy, Gunther's above Nick Aldis, so to speak. So Aldis winning does that. Or if Aldis loses, well, now Gunther feels entitled to run roughshod all over the GM for your show. So does that mean Aldis stays with SmackDown, or does he have to go to Raw so he's not next to Gunther? I don't know. I cannot figure out the dynamic when you're coming out for this. I am, yeah. That's what I'm. This is the big one, man.
So
I,
eh,
I, yeah.
I kind of want to see all this get one over. Because as much as I like Gunther, I think Gunther like we talked about him getting losses. Is this a bad loss for Gunther? Because we talked about him losing to Jay, him losing to Sammy, Cody, and all that. But man, this is a former NWA World Champion, like a legit, like top-notch wrestler. And I think for the
I,
story, I think it'd be better if Aldis goes over Gunther. If Gunther
I
wins,
think it is better.
what does Gunther learn if he beats up Aldis? He learns nothing.
And that's the thing.
And then
That's the
then
thing. Like,
it could do one or two things with Aldis. It neuters him, so like everybody just laughs at him because like yeah, you're the guy who got your ass kicked by Gunther. Or if it goes nip and tuck and Gunther sneaks it out at the end, does it buy Aldis some respect by most of the locker room? I don't know. But if Aldis wins, now you got a GM like, man, I ain't messing with that dude because he beat Gunther.
I think I think that is why it's so important to figure out where you go from here. Like this is one of those matches where you have to figure out the next step, and this is not like a blow off match. There's a lot to carry here because you bring up a very legitimate point, right? Like all this loses, it kind of deballs him in front of the entire locker room. So even though it is Gunther, it still does that. And then you're right. I mean, Gunther needs some good losses, and I think if Aldis beats Gunther, that allows Aldis to kind of come back as GM and start putting Gunther in shit matches, like just making Gunther's life a little bit miserable. You know what I mean? And anytime
Right.
Gunther tries to say something, you're like, bro, I beat you. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, sucks to suck. So it'll be interesting to see. But, to your point earlier, too, a lot of this card is really hard to like predict and call and figure out and everything else. So
Well, earlier this week I had Gunther winning, like it actually with Mikey's poll for the match card for his watch along, which is tonight and tomorrow as well. So BC WrestlePod is going to do the watch along, so I'll be jumping on that. I don't know if Sean is going to jump on that. I think we
I may.
definitely,
I'm going to attempt to.
yeah, we definitely got to do it for the women's ladder match, just so we can all jump in glee when Chelsea Green wins the interim world title. But anyway,
That's
that's my
tomorrow. We're not
yeah.
talking about that today.
Yeah, true. But
So
I
we'll,
just had to talk
we'll get
about some
into that.
Chelsea a little bit. So I originally had picked Gunther. So Mikey, if you're still listening, I'd like to change my pick from Gunther to Aldis. I've had a 11th hour change. I just think it makes sense for Aldis to go over. Do you agree, or who you got picked? Who do you think the?
I'm taking all this. I think there's more upside in all this winning.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, an all this loss doesn't really. The worst part about an all this loss to Gunther is that Gunther that you do not like gets more power,
Hmm.
right? He gets more leverage over the GM. So I feel like it's better that Aldis goes over. You let Aldis has been doing great work. You throw him a bone here. You let Aldis go over, and then the storyline will continue on SmackDown. But Aldis has leverage, right? I
Yeah.
think it's just too important for that to go.
By the way, if you
So
get a chance after the podcast, go on YouTube and watch Chris Van Fillet, Fillet, whatever his name is. He interviews Nick Aldis about this, and Nick gets quite emotional. It's a great interview. Like this, I think this could be your night one sleeper, man. This could steal night one.
Well, I think it can be because those of us that haven't really watched Nick Aldis wrestle will go in with some pretty low expectations, and then on top of that, like we don't know what to expect. So you're not really hyping up this match. But then there's a match on the female side that we're gonna hype: Io Sky and Liv Morgan for the women's title, bro. I don't know. Again, I don't know what to pick here. I'm just like, whew, this match is going to be interesting. But we haven't seen Liv wrestle in like eternity,
She's
honestly.
held the title over 100 days, hasn't defended it yet.
Yeah, I got nothing, man. I don't know why they do that shit. But
Thank you,
um
Kevin, first time watcher. So yeah, I was stationed with Kevin at Fort Bragg from he was there 14. What did you say? 11 to 14. We were there together, same unit for a couple of years. Good dude, good dude. Um,
This has been
this
this has
this
been a
match
pretty decent build though.
it
Like
has
it's
been
been an okay build. Like this was less is more, just enough
yeah.
kind of stuff. And like cutesy stuff too. Like her EO coming out, on Danhausen's car the other week and all this other crap. It's I don't want to talk too much about Danhausen because he's obviously night two, but Danhausen has a place, and like him bringing out EO, his character as a wrestler and his feuds is not necessarily what's important. It's what
Right.
he is your tour guide through some of this stuff. You know what I mean? He has stuff out there that he's doing, but like there's been little moments where he's been kind of the tour guide to bring you into bigger pictures stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of all I'm going to say about Danhausen. But yeah, I agree. EO needs the win here bigger than Liv.
I
Liv
do
can
too.
still trot around, and Liv throwing hissy fits is probably better for Liv than anything.
I yeah. So I have EO going over tonight. The only way I see Liv going over is if they want to stretch this feud out, if they're going to make this a series. But really,
You could still
well,
make it a series. You just
you
make
can.
EO go over here
I think
because
I think you need to. She's too good to not be holding the title. Uh, and I know we said Liv hasn't defended her title, in the 100 days, but also she was out for a couple weeks because she about got her noggin split open when Stephanie rammed her into Raquel, so she was out for a couple weeks there. But still, the fact that 100 days without a title, you know how I feel about that. Other than the fact it's
oh,
bullshit.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. And I think, honestly, I think the biggest FU would be have EO go over and then EO go, well, you didn't defend the title for 100 some odd days, so you can't compete with me for 100 and some odd days. That would be a cool little thing on the follow up. I'm taking EO here. I'm totally taking EO here. I think that you get more juice out
oh yeah,
of Liv losing than EO
oh yeah,
winning.
because the Live meltdown will be great. Like
That's why. That's why she's good
so,
at the
yeah.
meltdown, man.
So Kevin said that he thinks that heel Live gets boring after a while. I think in the past, this heel run, this run since she's come back has been a lot of fun, and I think again a lot of it has to do with the Danhausen thing. Uh, it's kind of sparked that up. I think they've kept Liv very fresh in this, but again, my beef is you're the champion. You can't go 100 plus days without defending the title
Especially when you're rolling around saying you're the greatest women's world champion of all
of
time.
all time.
Yeah, like you have to put up or shut up. So
Negatory goes farther.
I think her losing is a lot better benefit, and I think you get that jersey coming out of her. Whoo, child,
Oh,
just let it go.
especially now that Raquel like has the IC title.
That's another reason. That is another big reason why you take that
And,
off of
and,
her
and
because now
yeah, well, like we so Kevin and others that haven't watched in a while, we've been off for about 2 weeks, so we're playing a little bit of catch up. Our format's a little different today, but man, I was so happy, and Sean was, our whole group chat was when Raquel went over Sol Ruca, and we love Sol Ruca too, but I think that was good. She had a short title run, so got to dip her feet in the water, see what it's like to be a title holder on main roster. I think now you can kind of work on some of her in-ring stuff. I still say Saul does too much risky high flying stuff, and it's obvious. I think she needs to get with a coach and a trainer and really work on how can you make your big spots mean more. You don't have to do your flippity flop stuff every 20
yeah,
seconds. Like build up with good solid wrestling, and so when you do hit your soul stature or some other crazy flippity floppity thing, it means so much more. It's
yeah.
it's like watching kids playing in the bounce house.
No, it is, and it's a good point. But I think
But
the
Rick,
Raquel
Rick,
going.
Rick,
Oh,
she's worked her ass off, man. She like deserves it. She's done everything that company has asked her to do, and
saying
we
saying
have
this
never heard
about
anybody
the
complain about her. Like you don't see any crap on social media about her being difficult. Like it seems like she's a good true player, and I think she got rewarded. So I hope they give Raquel like a good run with the IC title. Like don't make it a 2 month thing. Like let Raquel have a decent title reign, and let her have that opportunity to run with the title and see what she can do with it.
I don't disagree, and I think that I think the dynamic is about to shift because if you have Liv lose and Raquel's got the IC title, now whoever got Golden Judgment Day makes the rules, right?
Hmm.
And to be kind of honest, like Liv has been a little self-serving in the Judgment Day and has kind of neglected the others, so to speak. So I think that there's a legitimate way to do this where Liv's life becomes kind of miserable, and yeah, it's a big deal. So I just
It,
yeah.
Speaking of Judgment Day, can JD McDonough? Is it possible for him to have a bad match?
No.
Like even his match against Danhausen on Saturday Night's main event, yeah, it was comedy stuff, but like Danhausen had to work. Like if you're with JD, you're gonna put your boots on. You're gonna earn your money on that night. Like other than the shenanigans with him and Danhausen, the comedy stuff, there was some good work rate going on during that match. Like Danhausen brings out
No,
the best.
he's
I mean,
amazing.
JD does. JD brings out the best of everybody. It's not a night off if you're wrestling JD.
No, he's amazing. He is amazing. And I actually, for the first time last night, like watching him wrestle Ray Phoenix, I was sitting there legitimately going how in the F are you not more prominent?
Yeah.
But
Which,
we
by
don't
the
get to see
way,
a lot of his
no, that was a great
character growth.
match, and you knew Phoenix loved it last night because even after the match, after he pinned him with a that muscle buster was brutal. But
Yep.
you saw Ray like tapping like JD after the match. Probably one to make sure he was all right, and then two was probably like, man, that was good shit. Like thanks, that because that match was fantastic last night. I know we're doing our SummerSlam preview, but I had to talk a little bit about JD because we've talked about him since we started, and like he is the most underrated guy probably on the roster right now.
All right. Let's keep it simple. This one I think I can make the call on.
Yeah.
Obafemi, Brock Lesnar. Who you got, Matt? Because I know who I got, and it ain't even. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have to think about it. This is a gimme. This is Obafemi.
I think this is Obafemi.
And I
I
think
think that
Brock's gonna like make Oba look like $1 million. He's gonna give Oba everything that Oba needs. He's
I
gonna.
think there's going to be blood here. I think that this is going to be great. This is going to be great, and I think this is the. I think they tipped their hand a little bit because they started talking about Brock Lesnar's streak in Hell in the Cell and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, you know, but I think that just builds and makes the win bigger for Obafemi. So this is Obafemi all the way. And I don't even want to babble about this because they just nailed the build between these two. So and Obafemi is just phenomenal. He's a lot better on the mic than I realized. I'm digging on Obafemi
He's
too.
the future.
So he is the
Obafemi is
future.
the he is
He's the
the
future Brock Lesnar though. He's
yeah.
not everybody kind of has their own little niche, right? But he is definitely going to be one of those larger than life stars,
Yeah.
like without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So,
I just hope they utilize the cell. I hope it's brutal. I want to see Oba get in that environment, see how he does, especially with a guy
yeah.
like Brock. But and make it go longer than 7 or 8 minutes.
So, Matt, what do you want to talk about?
Man, we could talk a lot. I really don't want to talk about the promo last night from SmackDown because it
It
didn't
was
add.
so useless and so pointless and
It was.
so just
It was
ugh.
like two old drunk guys fighting at a Friday night poker game. Like they're
That's a good
buzzed, and
point.
they had a little bit too much PBR, and some money got maybe some hands went bad, and all of a sudden now these two buddies decide to have a slap fight at the poker table, and this is what last night felt like.
I don't think either of them are very good at the mutual appreciation
No,
match
no, we saw it with
build.
Punk and Roman. We saw that with Punk and Roman at
That
WrestleMania.
that was kind of sticking out in my brain that Punk has had this problem. Cody hasn't been good at the mutual respect match either, right? And you brought up a good point. You said when it comes to Yeah, agreed. But like, I think that, like, you brought up before we started recording that, you know, uh, that Chad Gable and Penta are doing the mutual respect thing very well. So I'm looking forward to it. And as of course it's brought to you by Street Fighter. So I was out in California, didn't realize it at the time. Saw Cody Rhodes is whatever character from Street Fighter he's playing on the back of a bus. I was like, oh, it's Cody Rhodes on the back of a bus. I was like, oh, Street Fighter must be getting ready to come out. Then I passed the bus. I was like, oh shit, that's actually Cody Rhodes' bus. And that was when they were getting ready to go have. It was a Thursday, and they were getting ready to go have Friday Night SmackDown in Oakland. So it was like, huh, I actually saw Cody Rhodes' bus. Cool. Side story, but it's probably more interesting than this build has been, to be honest with you. Like, this build has just been like, it's like two girls slap fighting, man. It just, it doesn't need a build, but they tried to build it and it just doesn't care. I don't care. Like, I look forward to the match because of who they are, but I don't care.
Right. And the only way I'm happy if Cody goes over, the only way I'd be happy if they had Cody go over is if he turns heel. Other than that, it's got to be Punk all the way.
Yeah, but
And,
last night in the promo, they had Punk kind of more leaning heel. So,
yeah,
like, I don't know. It feels icky. And then one point that I forgot
that's
to
what I
leave.
said in the chat last night. I'm like, this is icky. Like, it
It
was.
one point going back a minute on the Brock Lesnar thing. I was thinking about this. So we have two Minnesota stars um, going at it this weekend. So you have Chad Gable and you got Brock Lesnar. I don't think you're going to go 2 for 2,
No.
which is another reason why I think Oba Femi is going over. I don't want to get ahead of my predictions for Sunday night, but I don't think you're going 2 for 2. And I think you're going to give Minnesota what they want. You're going to get, and say what you will, man. Like we talked about with Raquel and other stuff. One good thing in the Triple H era is you will eventually get rewarded at the right time. Not the right time that we think, but eventually
Yeah.
you will get rewarded. We saw it with Chelsea Green. We've seen it now, you know, we've seen it with Raquel now. And there's a handful of others out there that when you sit there in the doldrums of shit work, they're gonna pay you off,
Yep.
and they're gonna give you something.
Yep. I mean,
And
like now we've even seen Otis and Tozawa get a little bit of a nudge. They at least they've been on
yeah,
TV a lot more. So
well, there's a little bit of story there, but the
right.
reality is that you're getting eventually in the bigger picture of WWE. There's a handful of things that always stick out in my mind since Triple H has taken over, and booking off to the side is the care that he takes for the actual talent, and he really does, right? Like, he does take care of talent. Like, you notice it with the scheduling. Like, holidays will be tape shows just so
Yep.
he can give his people time off. He's very good about, when you got people that are always the predominant, like, just in the trenches workers, Sami Zayn even, right? Like, the guy that's always there but doesn't go over. He tends to reward them eventually, right?
Right.
Like, even if it is just a small run. Why does our Truth have tag titles right now? You know what I mean? Like, it's little stuff like that where you're paying off and you're getting a little bit, something. You know, it's not always going to be a title, but you always get something. Raquel, blah blah blah. So I do notice and acknowledge that he does make efforts to take care of his talent and reward them for their work. So, and then, I say all that to say, meh. I don't know. Flip a coin, Matt. Who you taking this one? That's how
Uh,
little I give a shit about this match.
I think yeah, I guess CM Punk retaining. Um, it just makes sense. Cody needs to be away from the world title for a while, unless he turns heel, and then you can have fun with that. But I don't think they're going to turn Cody heel. I think you keep the title on Punk, and I think whoever beats Punk for the title should be a younger guy down the line. If we're pushing this youth movement, damn it, let's do it. Like I'm tired of, I'm tired of 40-something-year-olds constantly holding on to the titles. Like let some of these young
Well,
guys are
good because
ready.
they're cutting promos about it now. Like,
Oh,
but
I mean,
I got- I
Punk
have
and
one.
Cody. I mean, between Cody bleaching his hair and Punk dyeing his, it's like, do they work
Hey,
on their
they ain't the
promos if the
only
hair
two.
so? I know.
Somebody else is rocking the Just for Men as well, and
Oh,
he's on Sunday night in the main event.
yeah, yeah. Gray as hell one week, and the next week he's like, oh, like Roman looks 10 years
Look
younger.
at me.
Yeah,
Yeah, my God, like how they don't have a sponsorship from Just for Men is beyond me.
yeah.
There is one outside factor, and we kind of dipped on it. So this match is brought to you by Street Fighter. Cody is in Street Fighter. Roman is in Street Fighter. They are going to go on a promo tour. Are you going to strap Cody just so you have your belt flying around on these promos?
True story. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Uh,
Like, do you
are you
do a
are you talking
title
about?
switch here
But how
just so
long?
that while he's out on the title, out on his promo tour for Street Fighter, getting publicity ginned up for Street Fighter, do you put the belt on Cody so the belt is there when he's doing all this promo activity?
I hope not. No, no.
And I hate to say it, it
Because
makes me wonder if that's an influence on Sunday as well.
well, yeah, we'll talk about Sunday
I
tomorrow.
hope
'Cause
not.
I hope not either. Like I said this before, Punk's latest run that I thought his last run should have been his last run as world champion. Obviously, they had to get Punk Cody, so Punk's champion again, whatever. But damn it, Punk's what 48 years old.
He's
Stop.
there.
L- let's stop having the usual suspects holding the title. The fans are saying it. They've even worked it into the storyline that people in the back are saying they're tired
Sports
of
Illustrated saying
saying
it.
it. Bleacher Report saying it.
Bleacher Report saying it.
Becky Lynch is even saying it. By the way, we need Becky to
Nah.
come back. I this is a prime opportunity in this main event to bring a guy like Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre or both back into the fold. And if they do bring one of them back, who do you think would be the logical person to bring back?
So there's a lot of layers to this onion. So let's peel a few.
All right.
I think at least one of these titles, be it the one on Raw or this one, needs to be held by a younger champion.
Mm-hmm.
I think injecting Drew McIntyre, injecting Randy Orton into this match. First off, I will say this. Neither appeal to me in interfering with this match. I think they're better served. We know from this podcast that I just want Roman to get his comeuppance at some point. And I think there's legitimate beef for Drew. There's legitimate beef for Randy to get involved and really F up Roman.
So you're saying if you bring
In
him
this
back,
match,
you wouldn't bring him back in this match. You'd bring him back in the
no,
Roman.
because here's what I want. Whoever your bright and shiny toy is that you are going to push to the moon on SmackDown, whomever that is, you put that feather in their cap that they beat CM Punk. So I'm taking Punk here.
Yep, I am
Love me
too.
some Cody, but the more established star is CM Punk. So if somebody young manages to get a win over CM Punk and take the title off of CM Punk, I think that is bigger than somebody getting a win over Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a self-made dude, right? Like
Right.
there's his let's be honest about who Cody Rhodes is a little bit. Like CM Punk has been a star for a long time. He's not wrong when he says people have been talking about him even during his 10-year absence. Cody Rhodes is a now. CM Punk is a then and now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So any win over CM Punk is huge. Any win over Roman Reigns is huge. So I'll take Punk here, and I'm just going to assume that they're going to stay the course. But I would like to see at least one of these titles go to a young buck, like a young guy. And I think that the SmackDown title is the one that's a little more loosey goosey, whereas you could have all your crusty ass old farts on Raw duking it out. And there's a secondary problem in here that has another layer to the onion, which is Mania's in Saudi next year. Saudi love that nostalgia mirror, dude.
Yep.
They love them some nostalgia.
So do you think
So
that
like,
you're going to have Punk and Cody here and maybe Punk and Cody too at WrestleMania, whether it's for the title or not? Or
it depends on how the match goes. I
yeah,
just it this isn't one of those like let's compare and contrast main events, right? Punk, Cody, meh, whatevs. Roman, Seth, epic,
yes.
right? Roman Seth is huge,
I would say
huge.
I'd say Punk and Cody's not as huge, but I it's still a big main event.
It's a big main event. It's not huge.
No, no.
Roman Seth, anytime those two go at it, is huge. And no matter how you try to spin it and downplay like anything that Seth has done, like when him and Roman get together, it doesn't matter if he, I always joke around as a Bills fan. I say the Bills could go 2-15 so long as those two wins are against the Dolphins. I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just have that rival where like it
Yep.
doesn't matter who's down, who's up. It doesn't matter. That rivalry transcends everything else, and that is Seth and Roman. Punk Cody is just two great guys going at it. Like
Right.
there's no aura around it. It's just we know if CM Punk is good, we know Cody Rhodes is good.
Yeah, it's a dream
Eh,
match. Which
you
going
know,
back to it, why instead of adding all this other baloney to it where they're fighting at each other, why can't they just say
because
why can't we just label it as a dream match?
because
And
nuance is dead, and it's because nuance is dead, right? Like there are times where you don't need to spell things in crayon for everybody, but WWE just feels the
I
need
know,
like
but if
we're
you
gonna put
just
it in Crayola, man.
I
Like
know, but if you
just so
just
you
left
know.
out all this extra fixins and just let it be Punk versus Cody, and you think everybody's getting along, it's just a little bit of edgy because Cody's going for Punk's title and whatever, but for the most part, it can be cordial until the match
Eh,
happens, and then it becomes not cordial, and that's when you can
well,
have your big moment. Right now, this whole teasing, like where they're fighting, it's like I said, it's just
the
uh,
problem with cordial, there's a legitimate problem with cordial
well,
in this situation.
people don't like cordial anymore either.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
The problem with cordial, at least in this instance, is if you went cordial with these two, it's the exact same promo,
right.
right? Like, and this is where it's hard, where their inability to do a mutual appreciation match rings hollow and it doesn't come across. Whereas, like Penta and Chad Gable, that comes across. Yeah, WWE thinks we're stupid, but they also all think we're 5 years old. So, whatever.
Hmm.
Like, sometimes you just got to let it hang there. Let people debate over it. Let people overthink it and sometimes give them what they want, but they won't because they're dumb.
Yep.
But anywho, who are you taking in this, Matt? I've
Oh,
droned on about
oh,
this.
Punk. I'm going Punk.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of follow on here, but there's a lot of nuance outside of wrestling that I think has a lot of factors here. I think Street Fighter, the movie coming out has some outside influence. I think Mania being in Saudi has outside influence. I think there's a lot here. And I think that, I think we're all staring at the poster and pretty soon we're going to see it's a schooner. You know, there's a nice Mallrats reference for you. But, we're staring at it and it's just now starting to come into focus. I think after SummerSlam, we're going to have a legit, like, big time focus shift on what we're going to become.
Yeah. I'm a
So,
li- I'm a little disappointed that none of the tag titles are defended this weekend. None. I mean, they kind of defended last night on SmackDowns in a nothing match that was basically thrown out. But like
That
the big,
match you knew was getting thrown out before that match got
oh
thrown
yeah,
out.
yeah, because you're not going to
I
unify
even
the.
said it in the chat. I was like, "There's no
Well,
way you get out of this without DNF."
yeah, and
You
then
know,
Division they're not involved in SummerSlam at all. I think it's because now they're kind of doing this reset. I think they're waiting to bring Bronson back, and but I still would have liked to seen Division defend their titles on this card. But who are they going to defend them against? Like what team could they go against right now? Because all the
WWE has an opponent problem, and they are going to have to rip the Band-Aid off because I think
I think they have too many
Ro-
titles. They have too many titles. Is what they have.
not really. They just don't have. They're not putting the talent. They're skittish to pull the trigger on younger talent, right? And some of that is Austin Theory's fault, to be honest. Like Vince, like strapped that kid so freaking quick, and we're like, really? And it went disastrously wrong for him. So I think there is some buyer beware there. But like overall, I mean, I don't think there's too many titles. Because they do lead to compelling storylines, but you have to use them correctly, right? Like tag titles, there's only one set of women's tag titles. Like,
And
but
that's
you have
fine.
it tied up in
No,
this whatever feud.
yeah.
And the good thing about one set of women's tag titles is they can transcend both brands. So who do you want to
That,
get hyper
so
exposed?
why can't we do that with the men's tag titles? If you
I
have them,
think because they had a stretch where, and they kind of cool. You got to keep in mind there
oh, the
was a stretch
SmackDown
where the
tag title, SmackDown was built around the tag title division there for a little bit.
yes, yes, and it was amazing.
And
And like we were calling for like, all right, now do that on Raw. Like there is legitimacy out there that those tag titles can be done because there's a lot of talent out there that's really talented that would be very intriguing as a tag team, that's
well, not
going out there and rigging shop.
wouldn't this be the time to do it? SmackDown's 2 hours, Raw's 2.5. You got 4.5 hours to program across two brands.
Yes.
Well, if you want to get talent on there, then you bolster your tag team division. You get more talent out there, and you can elevate your tag team titles. And they're not doing that.
Yes. Well,
You got
I'm
to do
gonna
more.
hold.
You got to do more. You got to do with more with less. You got less
I'm
TV
going
time.
to. I'm going to withdraw. I'm going to hold on to my criticism until I see what they do after SummerSlam.
Right.
I'm going to because we talked about it this whole preview. Like the card tonight is solid. If this was a just a one-off PLE, this card's insane.
Oh yeah.
Like just tonight is a great freaking card. There's some fluff in there. There's a couple of popcorn matches in there, and it's mostly the multi-person tag, but all the one-on-one shit is solid. So like it's solid because they did good builds. So meh.
I don't get it either, Mikey.
I
It's
don't. I don't either. They were on such a tear with tag team wrestling
and
and doing
you
great
and I were
stuff.
loving it. Like that's what we were talking about. All the great tag teams. Like it was awesome, and it just like poof, it went away. Like
Well, and they were doing good with tag teams,
you could
meaning
have.
actual tag teams.
Why couldn't you have the
Not,
Street Profits and the Vision do a run back of their tag team match at SummerSlam?
and that's why I'm pumping the brakes and waiting to see what they do as a follow-on. Right?
Unless you see that the night after SummerSlam, you might see it on the Raw after
Well,
SummerSlam.
there's a double-edged sword here, right? Like you just brought it up. There's only 4.5 hours. Well, you got to do a build. Well, it's easier and quicker, and you can get more juice worth the squeeze on one-on-one builds than you can with tag team builds. So even though technically, I guess you could say one tag team versus another is a one, but neither here nor there. It's harder to get the juice worth the squeeze out of that. So I think it's a prioritization of time, which time is an asset. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. Really, what they need to do is really start thumping that because, like I said, did we need that shit at the end of SmackDown last night with Cody Punk? No, you
No.
could have built something else out of that. But it's the go home show, so what the hell are you gonna do, right? So, okay, So yeah, it just it is what it is, what it is.
It is.
So let's do a quick rundown here. I am so here. You took the Bellas and Paige. I took Fatal Influence in this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the Usos versus Keys Knight and Sokoa. You took the Usos and Fatu. I took Knight, Keys, and Sokoa. In this one, we both took Nick Aldis.
Yep. EO.
EO and Liv. I think we both took EO on
Yes, we
this
did.
one.
Yep.
This one I know we both took Obafemi.
Yeah. Yep. Man, what a night one.
And then this one we both took
Punk.
CM Punk over Cody Rhodes for a multitude of reasons, not the least of which we don't want to see Cody near the title because he's better at chasing. So that's great night. Great night one
Yeah.
preview. We're gonna find out tomorrow. So, like Matt said, we are talking. We are planning on doing another one of these tomorrow, roughly about 9 o'clock Eastern time. And we're going to sit here and ramble on and on and on. We're going to do a recap of everything that happened in night one. Very consolidated, very quick, very nice, very evil. And then we are going to do preview of night two and talk about what's going to happen and what led to the stuff in night two. And then maybe if something crazy happens, we might have an emergency pod. But right now, no emergency pod.
Yeah.
So
No. No, I don't see anything unless something the main event would probably have to dictate whether or not we do an emergency pod tonight, and I don't see anything tonight happening unless WWE Creative decides to just take a giant shit on the wrestling fans and we get mad and have a meltdown. So Kevin, if you're still listening,
when does
after,
that ever happen?
Roman Cody won.
When does that ever happen?
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Mikey, you're a good dude. He's gonna be up. He's in California. He's gonna be up at 6 a.m. so he can get the night two picks.
That's right, because he knows. He knows where. He knows. Mikey knows. Everybody knows.
No.
Sports Illustrated knows. Bleacher Report knows. Everybody knows that there is a secret staffer from WWE that dips into our freaking channel and steals all our ideas. So that's a fact. That's not a spoiler. That's a fact. As I throw out totally random WWE cliches.
Yeah, so does that mean we're the only podcast with 180 subscribers that WWE's listening to?
Perfect place to steal stuff from.
Yeah.
We're so little, muy pequeño. I think that's right. Anyways,
Yeah, we
I
really
am
don't.
not
We don't have
bilingual by
we
any
don't have a
stretch.
filter. So, Sean, you're getting called out. You didn't. You
Since
didn't get your,
somebody didn't do the form, who was on an airplane all day, all night? Yeah, I'll get there. Get in line for the other 6 million things I got to catch up on.
Yeah, no. I know. Then you
I-
got home. You got home, and then you had to pack up the rig and put the rig out at the campsite. It's like it never stops.
Yeah, I know. And then this Friday, I think it's Friday. The rig goes up to New York, so it's like, just
Cocaine. It's a hell of a drug.
yeah, yeah.
No,
I
I'm,
know.
I'm, I'm,
No,
I'm, I've been saying that this show could be like really sneaky good. This is a good card. And
That's a
I've
good
said
card that we just ran through. So, like, I think it's
I
interesting.
think it's gonna be better than last year's SummerSlam for sure. I think on paper.
Yeah, but
Remember last
it'll
year's
be.
SummerSlam, we had the great cage match between Solo and
Ugh.
Jacob, where like they were almost afraid to touch the cage. It was
Eh,
terrible.
It was
Oh,
in a cage and nothing happened.
yeah.
Nothing.
Like they didn't electrify the cage. You can use it. Yeah. So that's one thing I hope with Oba and Brock, and I wanted to say it earlier. Like I hope they utilize the cage. I hope they break the cage. They haven't broke the cage in a while. With those two
Those two
guys,
could break the cage.
they need to break through the cage. I'm not saying to get on the top of the cage, but have a spot where someone gets speared or driven through it. Like Oba's got to go through hell to win. Like Oba just can't dominate Brock. Brock's gotta beat the brakes off of Oba. Oba's got to do his comeback to win to do it right, but it should be brutal. I want to see how Oba can do in this type of match because I've never seen Oba in kind of a gimmicky match. So now we're going to get to see how Oba can handle himself. And Hell in the Cell is like one of the biggest ones to prove yourself in. So uh, should be fun.
I think, yeah, it should be fun. I think that, you know, this one you definitely need Ovo to go over because I think part-time Le- part-time Lesnar is not going to cut the mustard. So like we need Oba to go over, which just establishes Oba as a monster, and then him as a monster. You know, it's just it is what it is. But I belabor the point. Everyone, like we said, night one SummerSlam tonight, and Matt and I are back on track. Works out of the way for a little bit.
Yep.
So Sean is actually available to do stuff, but and again, apologies for the last 2 weeks. But you know what? We all we needed to do a reset anyways. We're out of the doldrums. We've got fresh takes, fresh ideas. Matt, tell the folks where to find us.
Sure. Find us on TikTok, YouTube, of course, Instagram. You can find us on Spotify as well and Apple Podcasts. So we will get this episode. I know it's a live one, but I think the plan is also to drop this as well on our other platforms. So again, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Eastern, give or take a few minutes. It won't be any earlier than 9, but if we start past 9, it'll only be a few minutes. But again, we'll do our recap. We'll do our lead into, and hopefully we can keep it around the same time frame, an hour to hour and 15 minutes. Depends on what happens tonight. So, prepare to go that length, but it could go long, but we'll try not to. But again, it's good to be back on. Thank you all for your patience out there while we've been off the net for the last week and a half or so. It's summertime. Sean has a crazy work schedule, but I'm glad that we're able to get together this morning and kind of tie in what's happened the last 2 weeks, especially with a big show like this. So, again, tonight, Mikey at BC WrestlePod is going to be hosting the watch along. And I know that I'll be popping on there here and there for a few things, and hopefully Sean will as well. And so yeah, definitely check out Mikey, and thanks to Mikey for that, and also Nick isn't on here, but also our another friend Nick from Nick's Happy Hour. Good stuff with him as well. He'll be I think he's running the watch along tonight on Mikey, so please tune in for that.
That'll
And
be
with that,
interesting.
I will. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think that's going to be PG.
Hey, look, we, you know, WWE set us up for failure because after last night and putting the Jay Cargill, the match that Jay Cargill it was involved in and Charlotte Flair on Sunday, we didn't get to talk about certain things that occurred last night. So we'll get into it tomorrow, but yeah.
Yeah.
start to start to polish up a certain song for
Yeah.
everybody.
I was going to say let's. Yeah. Definitely. We'll.
Dun, dun,
This
dun,
is good
dun.
because we got some material left over that we didn't talk about today. We could talk about tomorrow too.
We
So
have residual material. Oh,
residual.
what a great band name. Anyways,
Yeah.
folks, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna cut this live off. We'll post it up on our podcast, but we love y'all. Have a great day. Enjoy night one. SummerSlam. We're out.